Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Have a good day.
Okay, ready to go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another auspicious vlog. I know it's been a while. We are headed to Valley Children's this morning. There's Nathan. We're gonna see his GI doctor right now. Pam is driving. Pam drives because she gets car sick in the back seat, or so she says. I think she just wants to drive.
It's like to be in control of the vehicle, and I get car sick in the back.
Yeah. So, anyways.
You were busy.
Can't get enough of this. Can't get enough of this. Can't get enough. Get enough of this. Can't get enough of this. Can't get enough of your love.
You think they'll let me in? Because one parent per child.
Well, last time we came with Dr. World, they let us go there. There's nobody there till you the temperature and everything, so everyone will find that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess they'll tell us right there, huh? If not, you have the keys? Didn't even lock the car. You didn't even lock the car. Caught him off guard.
Go way over. Got your blanket again. Alright, so before we undress them, let me go ahead and just make sure I take this height real quick. Okay.
What do you need? Diaper?
No, I got it. Alright, mister. Let's see. Stretch, 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 stretch. I'll let him do it. Good job, puppy. Good job. It's okay. Very good, very good. Good job. There you go. Good job. All right. I'll go based off. Good job. Oh, he's all like, nope, I don't think so, Maria. Alright, puppy, we're gonna go ahead and go based off on this one. We're gonna go ahead and go based off on this leg, okay? 75.5.
Okay.
Yeah. 75 in your hand again. And then let's go ahead and remove this thing. So we can go ahead. say it's clean wild hair. I had a bath this morning. Oh, so early in the morning? Alrighty. And everything stays the same medication-wise?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And are we still using the Hina's Pharmacy out on White Lake?
Yes.
Perfect. Oh.
So?
Let's see how much you weigh today, Nathan. Everyone's asking, how much does he weigh? And I was like, I don't know.
I'm just gonna find out. Then we gotta have a little moment of truth, you guys. Let's see how much the quarantine got to him on the weight.
Yeah.
Alright.
Or just,
You got it?
yeah.
He doesn't look like he gained. He gained some. Just for a second, okay. There you go.
What is it?
1,153 kilos.
Nathan.
So what is that in pounds?
I'm working on it. 25 pounds, 3 ounces.
Ooh.
25 pounds.
Good little turkey. Or do a holiday ham. Which one are you?
They're both yummy. And we gotta go back into the room.
Okay.
He weighs 25 pounds?
25 pounds.
25 pounds. And 2 pounds?
2 pounds, 25. Michael.
He has reflux. They made a comment about, questionable motility, so like how things are contracting. That can either be from if you just have a baseline issue with motility, which that's kind of the question. I mean, we have to go through the GG in general.
Yeah.
So are we having motility in general? Or sometimes if we're getting like continued reflux, it can cause irritation and give you that same appearance. But,
Okay.
bypassing the stomach on all the medications that we do, I'm more suspicious that it's just the contractions are not contracting as well, and that's why we're getting the reflux to come up.
Okay.
What do you mean by that?
So, your esophagus, you think about when you swallow, it's not just gravity that makes the liquid go from your mouth down to your stomach. Okay, you can swallow when you're upside down, you can swallow in space, and so what happens is it's a coordinated response. Your esophagus is a muscle, and you get what we call this bolus formation that kind of forms a little ball of liquid, and that's what the muscle in the esophagus just kind of contracts all the way down to the stomach. Okay, and so they can actually tell when they did that study how those contractions are happening. And so, if it looks like it's not quite as regular of a contraction, sometimes we think that a kid has, esophagitis, and so if I have a kid with really bad reflux and we're wondering is it reflux or is it something else, and I get the swallow study and it shows like these irregular contractions, it makes me concerned that there could be some irritation going on, because that can disrupt the normal contractions from happening. Okay, but if we're already bypassing the stomach, we have them on acid suppression, we have them on all the medications to prevent, the acidity and the reflux, we wouldn't really expect gastritis. We'd expect more, is it just something with how the muscles are contracting in general? Okay, some kids, just they don't have as coordinated of a response as we want to, going all the way down, and that can translate to why we would have had to go to the GJ.
Right.
Again, your whole GI tract is just a big muscle. We're connected from the mouth all the way to the butt, and then we get these coordinated responses, contractions that go from the esophagus to the stomach. The stomach has to have a coordinated contraction response going into the small intestine and all the way down.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And so it is a very coordinated response that has to happen. And so if we're not quite getting, as good a contractions as we want, we can get irregular appearance on the imaging, but we also can see it in the kid as they just don't tolerate the fetal because we're just not moving stuff through like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
You said there's just multiple episodes of reflux, which we know from his past. Okay. There's no hiatal hernia or anything like that. Hiatal hernia is where essentially So you have your chest cavity and you have your abdominal cavity. And you have a muscle that's called the diaphragm in between the two, and that's what helps you breathe. Okay. Your diaphragm's a muscle, but you need to be able to get blood vessels and esophagus through that muscle, so you have a little defect in the muscle. It's a little hole that all those blood vessels in the esophagus pass through. Sometimes that hole is too big, and so you actually get some of the stomach to come up into the chest cavity. And when that happens, it's called a hiatal hernia. It just makes for really bad reflux symptoms. And so that's part of what we're looking for, making sure there's no structural concerns or anything like that going on. So hiatal hernia. And then they said there was esophageal, what we call dysmotility. So that's those contractions.
Yeah,
as they
that's
go
what
down.
the nurses said. That's probably the only thing that she thought was gonna be seen.
Yeah, and so we saw the dysmotility. You know, there's not much to do with the dysmotility at this age. We are really doing what we need to do. You know, we have them on medication to prevent any damage when the reflux events. If there is acid, if it does come up in the esophagus, we don't want to do any damage. So that's why we're cutting down on the acid. But then we're also bypassing the stomach with food, so we're not getting it to reflux up into the lungs or any complications with that. And so, you know, this is something that we know is there. We're gonna have to keep an eye on over time. You know, at some point we're gonna repeat this and kind of see, are we still seeing the same signs?
But I'm having a lot of people kind of telling us about his a trait, that he needs a trait, and that
Okay.
why isn't he on a trait?
Okay.
And I don't know how to answer that properly because I have no idea. I know I tell him, like, if he needed it, he would have had it already, right? But
Yeah. One option is I go down to the camera and just take a look, okay, which is endoscopy. Okay. The second option is something called a pH probe, which it's kind of a middle ground. Okay, a pH probe, it looks like a piece of spaghetti. We put it in the nose, goes from the back of the nose down the throat, sits at the junction between the esophagus and the stomach, comes out, sits in there for 24 hours. We have a little pH probe box that connects to it, and it literally records.
It's kind of like what we did over there too. When goes in the NICU.
Do they do a pH probe using the NICU?
I think so.
Yeah, like a little piece of spaghetti and stuff. Yeah. It would make sense. A lot of times the surgeons will do that before they, you know, do the G-tube to see that they need a foot application and stuff like that. It's a useful tool because it lets us know really what is happening in the esophagus. You know, because if we were to do that and there's, you know, if he has reflux but there's no signs of acidity or anything in it, you know, we'd feel much more reassured that we're not getting esophagitis, because you're going to get esophagitis from the acid. You're not going to get it from non-acidic reflux. And we have, you know, acidic reflux and non-acidic reflux. Okay. If it's not acid, we shouldn't have any damage being done, you know, irritation or anything like that. You know, chronically acid, that's where you can get some of the irritation inside your esophagus. Okay. And so that would be, you know, the ways that we would go about to kind of ultimately diagnose it. Okay. To see what's going on inside the esophagus.
yeah, because I think that would be good to do because that's something that's been worrying me the most.
Yeah.
That, you know.
Yeah. I think, you know, I would say the pH probe is a less invasive step to do. You know, at least as a first step, because he doesn't have to be sedated or put to sleep for it. You know, we have to place it up with my nurses at the hospital, but then we pull it here the next day, take it out, so it's only one trip up there. Okay. They essentially put it in, they get an x-ray to make sure placement's okay, then you go home with it, and then 24 hours later, you just come in here and just pull it out, and then we get everything ready for you. Okay. We don't have to sedate him, which is good, you know, because if we're really looking at his EGD, it's putting him to sleep to go down and take a look. And so it's usually best to try to do the least invasive first. You know, because if we can get the answers from the pH probe, no signs of acid or anything like that, I think we can feel more reassured that, you know, it's not damage that's giving us the dysmotility on the esophagram, you know, and that we can continue to watch it and repeat this study down the road again to see if we still have the same changes going. I'll get the orders, and if you don't hear from them by like Monday, Tuesday, give me a call.
Okay.
You know, and I'll track it down, but yeah, usually they're on top of it.
Yeah.